Perfect. All right. Hello, everyone. So my name is Hassan, and today I'm going to show you guys how to get items and bills and materials and products from your CAD system into Dynamics 365 directly from the CAD system itself. So on the bottom right here, we have a quick workflow of how the actual integration looks and works um, in I guess I want to say more of a process, right? But we'll jump into that and we'll do a quick 2-minute demo at the end, just a very high level to show you guys how this works. So quick introduction on QBuild. So what does QBuild do for customers? So we want to take a look at how QBuild can help you. So as I mentioned, we're closing that gap between the CAD, PDM, and PLM system and finance and operations. With that being said, we're reducing those engineering costs by making engineers more productive, right? So the faster the data gets into F&O, the less time the engineers have to spend to get that data in. Now, we specialize in that engineering to ERP integration. So whether it's F&O, we also do Business Central as well, but we're going to focus on F&O today. And we want the engineers to spend more time on engineering instead of data management. So, a little bit of background on myself as well. I also come from a manufacturing environment, and I'm an engineer myself. So, a lot of the language that I'm talking to, and specifically when I'm talking to engineers, all ties into what we're here to solve today. Now, as for our offices, we do have offices in US and Canada, as well as the UK and Germany to take care of that EMEA region, as well as an office in Japan that takes care of the APAC region. So we're pretty spread out across the world, multiple different languages and time zones are all accomplished through our different offices. Now, quick introduction here to I want to say our metrics. So we have 2,000 plus customers worldwide with over 20 plus years of engineering integration. So we started off, I think, back in 2002 with a simple link from AutoCAD. And now we have over 50 different engineering design integration partners. So we'll show you guys that in a second here. And on top of that, this is what we're looking at in terms of the CAD, PDM, and PLM, as well as nesting partners. So um, common ones that you guys might recognize here is SolidWorks, PTCs such as Windchill and Arena are very common PLMs, as well as the Autodesk products. So Volt, Inventor, AutoCAD is actually the first one we've ever done, but and we have quite a few more. So if you don't see a CAD system that your customer, or use, please feel free to reach out. I just couldn't fit all the I want to say logos on one page here. And we also do provide nesting integrations as well. So if you have a nesting software for raw material cutting, we can integrate that to finance and operations as well. So really covering all the engineering shop floor as well as getting everything over into finance and operations. Now, touching on Q Suite, which is our engineering integration suite. We start off with CADLink, which is the main focus of today. We also have ECX Manager, which is our engineering change management tool. With ECX Manager, you have full control over the ECR, ECO, and ECM processes with full auditability and revision tracking. So with ECX Manager, any instantly approved revisions get populated in finance and operations, and there's approval workflows to get those approved. Um, Last, we have Nestlink, which closes the gap between the shop floor and F&O. So if you have, we go back to nesting software, if you're doing any raw material cutting and want to get, machine labor runtime, usage time, parts, inventory, quantity, scrap, all those different metrics that are needed in F&O, you can do that. Same thing with production orders. If you have a production order, we can send it to the nesting software automatically, and any completed production orders, we can, go into F&O and complete them on the back end. So there's no user input. It's all just a continuous closed loop. Now, focusing on CADLink, which connects your CAD, PDM, and PLM bill of materials and design data to F&O. So we'll take a look at how it does that in a second here, but the main takeaway here is this is done directly from the actual CAD, PDM, and PLM system itself without any reason to open F&O. So all the engineers can update their bill of materials from the software they're most comfortable with. So the engineering to ERP process typically goes from CAD designers that provide the item details, design models, and BOMs. So they're the ones that are in the design software, making sure that everything, is designed accurately to spec. And the other end is the ERP side or the F&O side that has the production planners, procurement team, and the manufacturing engineers that need to know what to do with that data, right? So our job is to now connect that in the middle, which typically does have that gap. So the gap comes from the parts and bombs just not getting over into F&O. Now, the common challenges that do come with trying to get those bombs in there is the manual data entry, right? And the export and import functionality that a lot of people use. So with the manual data entry, it becomes very error prone, right? I'm typing stuff out. Oftentimes, I've typed my name out, I want to say probably 10,000 times till this day. And maybe one in those 10,000 times, I'll spell my name wrong, or maybe twice, or maybe three times. And now you think about part numbers, you have to read part numbers, enter those in. So human error is, inevitable, right? So we want to avoid that, right? The next is the export import functionality, right? You have to massage the data. You have to make sure that CSV or something, is accurate, right? You want it to make sure it's going to the accurate spots. The products and product masters are being set up correctly, different things like that. And the result of all that is the slow engineering, a wrong build, maybe wrong inventory, and shop floor errors, and all in all, frustration. Now, switching gears over to the demo. So I'm gonna quickly exit out of here, go into SolidWorks. You guys can see SolidWorks open on my screen just fine?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So to set the stage here, this is um, my designer in SolidWorks. So let's assume for this demo that I'm an engineer and I've just finished making changes to this model. Now, I want these changes to reflect over into finance and operations. Now, in order to do so, I will not have to leave this interface. I will go up to the tools bar here. We'll see that CADLink is an add-in directly into SolidWorks. And again, this is the exact same for all CAD systems. So any CAD, PDM, PLM, the launch point will be maybe a little bit different in terms of whether it's on the tools bar or whether it's from a different spot, but the workflow and the launch sequence will all be the same. Now, once I launch CADLink, what CADLink is doing here is taking each one of the part numbers from that CAD property and comparing it to what's in finance and operations right now. So whether it's items that need to be created, items that are there, all those different things, it'll give us this interface here. Now, this is the CADLink interface. I know it's a little bit small here. I'm just on a different monitor, so please bear with me. Um, First couple things I'm going to point out is that we haven't actually pushed anything into finance and operations yet. We're giving the user a chance to review their data before making any changes, right? And to review the data, we have the color coded highlights, which help us review that data, right? So the different color highlights, I'm going to go very briefly. I want to make sure, we're all here. So I'll start off with the white row. The white row indicates parts that currently already exist in F&O. So they either have, a product, product master products or release products all tied into this. This is already um, on the F&O side. Within those white, we do have these yellow highlights. Now, these yellow highlights indicate a field level discrepancy. So upon doing that comparison, we found that this item does exist. However, the description is a common differentiator, right? Sometimes we have a different description on the CAD side versus the F&O side. From CADLink, you can sync that description. So whether I choose my CAD description as a source of truth, my F&O description as a source of truth, CADLink is bidirectional, so it'll update both sides, the CAD and the ERP side. Next, we have these green highlights, which is the biggest time saver because these are brand new parts that currently don't have a product master or a product in the F&O side. So with CADLink, you can create that automatically from within this interface. So once I hit save, all these products will be created and inserted into this bill of material. The gray line is parts that are currently on the finance and operation bill of material version, but are not found on the CAD design. So when we do hit save, CADLink will remove this gray line item just to make sure that both sides are in sync. From CADLink, you can also set any F&O specific fields that you want to pull in. So these are just very example fields, I want to say, on my list here. But tracking group, model group, item group, all those different fields you can pull in here and define them for brand new items as well. Now, jumping over a little bit to the right here, just gonna make this a little bit bigger. We do have a changes tab, which shows us all the changes that are taking place on this commit to FNO. I can export the changes to either an Excel or PDF if I want to keep a record of the changes I've committed into FNO today. We also have a CAD data tab, which gives us, the properties for all the different CAD models. So we'll take a look at, if I click through, we'll see what those properties are, right? So if I need to map something and I see, okay, maybe I do have raw material and I want to go back and, add raw material and have CADLink read that, I can do that as well. Or if I have raw material here and, just other um, fields that I want to, use to make my life easier here, I can do that as well. So the CAD data tab just gives you a good reference point to your CAD model. Last, we have the messages tab, which gives us an insight on any validation errors that are on the F&O side. In that case, I mean, whether a description is too long, a part number is too long, a search name is too long, fields aren't defined that need to be defined, all that will populate here and will not let you save. So CADLink's not a blind push tool. It needs to make sure that all the rules of finance and operations are agreed upon in this bill of materials before doing the push. So if I double click here, I can see that, okay, I have an empty description. Once I type that in, you'll see that my message tab disappears and my save button is now enabled. So at this point, I can push this bill of materials over into finance and operations and update any items that need to be updated, create any of these new items in green, remove any items as needed, and have the complete BOM for now manufacturing, procurement, and the production planners to use um, as needed. Now, once I'm done, let's say I did hit save, I can just close out of here and I'm right back into my most preferred interface as an engineer, which is the CAD design side. So just capping off here, so we went over the demo, the benefits. As we saw, we've reduced non-value engineering activities, so we don't have to manually create any of those new items. Any data entry, double or triple is eliminated because we're doing that one-to-one comparison using the part number as a unique identifier. And we improve the overall accuracy. So we reduce the scrap, improve purchasing accuracy, eliminate the wrong build, and improve on-time shipments. All this is done by fixing that gap between the engineering side and finance and operations. So next steps, if this interests you, please reach out to me. My contact information will be at the end, as well as Amy will have that for you guys as well. And if you do have a VAR, please contact them, and they can come to us, and we'll configure our pricing and also go into more detail as needed. So CADLink, because CADLink is so configurable, we want to make sure it's designed for your process and make sure it fits your process. So that's why getting in contact with me is the best way to see how to do that. So I don't have a camera on, unfortunately, but here's a picture of myself. I'm a sales engineer. Just to recap, my name is Hassan. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to email me or give me a call.